Welcome to the Prosperity Playground, the podcast where business meets energetics, strategy meets soul, and prosperity becomes inevitable. I'm your host, Anna Lozano, mom, founder, investor, mentor, and energetics in business expert. This is your weekly activation to rewire how you think and feel about wealth, success, and personal power, because it's not about working harder, it's about regulating deeper, aligning stronger, and receiving wider. You don't hustle for your future, you calibrate to your higher self. Join me weekly for high-level conversations with the world's most inspiring entrepreneurs, creators, and thought leaders. True prosperity isn't just about money. It's about alignment, freedom, expansion, and embodying your worth. Welcome to the playground. Let's build your most prosperous life. Welcome back to the Prosperity Playground podcast. Today, I'm joined by Callan Faulkner. She is changing how entrepreneurs leverage AI to scale their businesses without sacrificing their lives. Having helped over 500 companies implement AI systems that eliminate manual work and multiply output, she's become known as one of the world's leading AI implementation experts. What makes Callan different is her ability to make complex AI solutions feel intuitive and accessible, even for the non-techie business owners. Her practical approach challenges hustle culture in favor of strategic frameworks that allow businesses to grow exponentially while their owners work less. Through her signature programs and the Uncommon Business, Callan is on a mission to show entrepreneurs there's a way to scale, one that gives you more life, not less. In this episode, we talk about scaling smarter, not harder. Callan shares how entrepreneurs at every stage, solo or scaled, can leverage AI to do the work of entire teams, streamline operations, and scale without burnout. We talk about creating quantum leaps through AI automation, and we talk about AI without the fear. Callan breaks down the real fears around AI, from overwhelm to loss of human touch, and shows us how to use it effectively as a support system that gives us back our time, power, and presence. Enjoy this activation. Callan Faulkner, welcome to the show.
Hello. So excited to be here. It's going to be so fun.
Yes, likewise. So we recently met through our mutual friend, Renee Warren. We got to hang out at our mastermind retreat in Tulum, and it was just such a joy to meet you, get in your mind, your wisdom. You are just one incredible human. So excited for this convo.
Likewise, Anna. So fun. That trip was amazing. So good.
So good, right? More masterminds. And actually, we're doing it again 2026.
Yes, we are. Probably we'll be like in our wheelchairs pulling up in hopefully 100 years from now.
100. We're back for the Tulum Mastermind, the OGs. I love it.
I love
it. Let's dive right in. You've helped over 500 companies implement AI. For a founder who's scaling without a team and a founder who's scaling with a team, where do you recommend they start if they want to simplify, streamline, and scale today using AI?
Such a good question. I'll give your audience just a little context. I saw my first, I've been in technology my whole career. I graduated with a business degree, but went right to work for a big tech consulting firm. I was a VP of sales. I always have loved efficiency. I am the person that is looking for shortcuts in every single area of my life. So if that means there's a shorter way to the park, if there is a faster way to tie my shoes, like when we had those like slip-on shoes, love them. Great, easy peasy. I am all about, I think there's so many times in life where we just make everything harder than we need to be. And if we just built systems in our life and in our business, and we all know this, life could feel so much smoother. So I saw my first ChatGPT demo in July of 2023. And at the time, I was running a consulting business for real estate investors. I had a real estate investing business. I was so in this real estate investing space. I saw the ChatGPT demo and I had a full body reaction, because in the moment, they took a task that usually takes an hour or two and they made it take 5 minutes. And I think most people at this point have seen something like this with AI, where it's, wow, we have just collapsed time in a way that I can't really comprehend, and it's kind of scary, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So when I went all in, I hired these guys that were doing YouTube videos. I was like, Bruce, tell me everything. So I would meet with Bruce once a week. We would learn about prompting and how to talk to it and the different types of platforms and the different apps. And I'm not really a technical person. I am a business person. So I'm a really good communicator. I think that's a skill set going for me. And I've always been really creative. And so I tell people all the time, AI is all about communication and creativity. Those are the two skill sets that you really need to master to be good at AI. It is not a technical skill set. Now, of course, there's technical AI like machine learning and predictive analytics. I'm going to put that in a whole other bucket. We're not talking about that today. We are talking about interacting and using large language models. ChatGPT is a large language model. There are other large language models. My favorites are Claude. You're going to hear me talk about Claude. I love Claude for content. That is the best large language model for content. Perplexity is amazing for research. Every time you do a search in Perplexity, you get back a source. So I talk to my doctors, my naturopaths, my holistic docs. We aren't doing research on ChatGPT. There is a deep research section of ChatGPT. It's okay. I really prefer chat. Some people might be like, oh my God, I love ChatGPT. Great. You try both. The last one I'm reusing a lot is called Grok, Grok. That's Elon Musk's large language model. And what I love about Grok is the integration with Twitter, popular Twitter threads and Reddit threads. I love pulling sentiment and I love getting research from there. I've been doing that quite a bit recently. I wanted to set the scene there because we're gonna weave all over the place.
This is gold already. Like,
okay, we can just
amazing.
end the podcast now.
Yes.
Perfect. So I say all that too because what we're entering into, and we haven't even talked about the best AI apps, and the whole thing we're entering into is a whole new way of thinking, solving problems, and activating ourselves. The average person in going through my 10-week AI program is getting back 8 hours a week. 8 hours a week. That is serious survey. FTC, come at me because I have all the data to back that up.
Holy shit. Like, talk about buying back your time, as our friend Dan Martell says. Like, that's insane.
Yes. Right. So if you have 200 employees, 8 hours a week, 32 hours a month, it could, and if an average employee is making $25 an hour, it's $2 million a year right off the bat, just with 10 weeks of AI training, just scratching the surface. That's just productivity. That's not even talking about the decisions that we're making and how we're thinking differently and the IQ points that we're adding onto every human. So let's talk about the average solopreneur. A lot of your audience is probably operating on their own, maybe with one other person. I talk to people all the time that are like, I should probably wait for your training until I hire someone. Well, if you start learning how to communicate with AI on the most simple things, hey, I'm building out my new website. Hey, I need an agreement for this. Oh, I probably should build an onboard. I really need to talk about my onboarding of a new client. I'm sure there's ways I could automate that. You will have to hire someone much quicker and more people if you are not AI trained. If you are AI trained, you will do the work of 2 to 3 people just on your own. Over the next 5 years, we will see a 10-person team do $1 billion.
Wow.
Yes. Because of the communication with AI, in my opinion, even if AI is doing the work one day of 500 people to 1,000 people, I believe there still will be a human being that has to understand the nuances and make sure that the whole thing, even if it's auto-correcting itself and still making sure it's working on its own, there still will be somebody that is overseeing that. So that's where when people get really scared, like, oh my God, this is going to take my job. Someone using AI will take your job.
This is a huge point because, my husband's in digital marketing and he's like, whoa, what if this job goes to AI, but behind the scenes, he's learning how to buy back his time with new skill sets.
Yes.
So that's a great
I do want to
point.
go, I would love to talk about marketing in a second because it brings, I know a lot of your audience is spiritual, and what's happening now is that AI does not have intuition. AI does not have a connection to a higher power. AI can't feel frequency. It can't feel vibration. So the human, especially with marketing content, has to read that and and feel it in their body.
Thank you for saying that.
Good.
Yeah. that's huge. And listen, I'm using ChatGPT for exactly all the things you mentioned, but I'm the one reviewing. I'm the one adding my frequency. I'm
It's
the
a soul
one
filter. Yep.
exactly the
Yep.
human, intuitive,
Yep.
elevated frequency filter. That's what it's going through.
Yep. Because I don't want to get too far off your question because we are going to loop back to it. Because if I had gone to AI last February of 2024, and said, "Hey, hey, chat, here are all of my business profit and loss statements. Here's all the data. I need you to help me make a decision on what I should spend my time doing. These are my goals. I want to build a great life for my family. I want autonomy. I want freedom." There is no way in hell that the AI would have told me to shut my land business down, shut my real estate and investing consulting business down, and go all in on AI. The reason why I did it is because my land investing business felt like an elephant on my chest. Even though there was money being made, I hated it. I hated it. Well, AI doesn't know that. AI is going to look at all the numbers and it's going to look at dollars and cents and it's going to make a logical decision. But that's not what's actually going to attract even more money to me. I have never made this much money in my life.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the intention. The intention was, wow, I love this. And the moment when I started going all in on the thing that I loved, even if it meant polarity, even if it meant, people being upset with me, that's when all of the abundance started to actually flow in. So AI is not operating with the laws of the universe, right? So that's where we have to be operating in both places. And that's where, again, someone that is using AI and connected to a higher power and connected to their true soul's purpose is going to take your job.
Exactly. We're here talking about automation, having systems, having time. Like that's what we're all craving, especially going back to that solopreneur, maybe with one outsourced partner. It's time that we lack. And this is exactly what we're getting back. So let's go back to that. So someone who is solopreneuring maybe has one or two people that they bring on board, an executive assistant, and maybe someone doing content or posting social, and then someone with a larger team. So how are we automating? What are we doing?
So let's talk about the solopreneur. The classic solopreneur is in a chronic cycle of doing. That is what they've learned their entire life. They go to school, you do your homework, you do the work, if you're in a group project, you are the best one in the group. You have to perform. That is what solopreneurs are doing. They are launching the next thing. They're posting every day. They're creating funnels from scratch, their offers from scratch, their content from scratch. It's dysregulated, it's scarcity driven, and it's creating more burnout than results. When we are operating from a place of overwhelm, there is no clarity. We are feeling depleted. There is always a million things on the to-do list, and most solopreneurs that I know of are probably more visionary, and they're not even good doers. Like they really shouldn't even be doing.
Yes.
They really should be thinking and building. So it's a really tricky spot, those first 6 months and 3 to 6 months of hiring. My recommendation is the solopreneur has to understand AI because it is the ultimate leverage tool. The solopreneur should be the strategist, should not be doing the strategy and the technology and building apps and selling and the admin and sometimes being a therapist for their clients and themselves. So number one, for solopreneurs, I'm just going to list off very tactical things I think every solopreneur should be using AI for. Writing emails in their own voice, both from a marketing perspective, but also just generally when they're getting all these emails in from clients, no more from scratch anything. No more emails from scratch, no more offers from scratch, no more writing sales pages from scratch, SOPs from scratch, agreements, like even the service agreement with your client, that should not be done from scratch. Your attorney should review it. Everything should be reviewed. So even a case study, when you're interviewing your client, you should get on a Zoom, interview your client, AI should write the case study, you review it, it's done. That process would have taken a whole day and it probably goes to the back of your to-do list. Now it can be done in 60 minutes. So making sure that we're automating the repetitive, we're reclaiming our time back, and we are amplifying our creative power. If you're a solopreneur, you could take this one podcast that I'm going to do with you is going to turn into 10 to 12 different pieces of content between my nurture emails, the reels and Instagram posts that I send out, and then my internal curriculum. There may even be some frameworks and IP that come out during this that I'm channeling that I don't even know are going to come
So
through.
good. Okay, so tell us that process, like step by step. So what
Yeah.
are we, am I going to send you the transcript? Like
Yep.
what's going to happen?
So what's going to happen is my team is going to request, well, because you're recording this, first and foremost, when you just post the podcast, we can just use Fireflies and we can get the transcript from anything. So ideally, we get the raw content from this. We get the raw video. And then we get the whole MP3. We grab the transcript from that. It goes through two parts. The first part is actually pulling out content that's going to turn leads into clients. So that's the first thing. So that's gonna it's taken through we have a Claude project. So now we're talking more about AI systems. When you just go into regular ChatGPT and you start talking to it, all it's trained on is past conversations you've had because there is a memory. But the number one source that ChatGPT uses to get you a result is Wikipedia. That is the first place it goes to look for how it should build things because it's the easiest thing to scrape. It's free. So when you say, go build me reels from this transcript, it's going to go to learn about reels from Wikipedia. Is that where you want it to learn about reels? Or do you have a reel framework that you know works? You've already studied your competitors. You know the viral reel framework. I know those things for my business. I talk about this a lot we're kind of in the Tour de France right now where some people are using steroids and you're like seeing them go out ahead and you're like, oh, that's interesting. One day, all of us are just going to use steroids and the winners are still going to win. I think Lance Armstrong would have won the Tour de France with or without steroids. That's my 2 cents. The winners are still going to win because you know how to create a viral reel than the average person. Right. You're just going to use AI to build that reel.
Okay, hold on. But I'm getting a little bit of like, holy shit. Okay, so I started last 18 months, I was working on my nervous system. So my first entries into chat were, I am recalibrating my nervous system to $1 million months. Yes. And now I'm just at moments annoyed. I'm like, stop going back to that initial prompt. Although it's so valid, but I don't want it in everything. So I think I might need like a cleanup or something, but I got some brilliant projects in there.
So this is a really great point, Anna, and you're leading right into my next point. You need to start using either a custom GPT, which is, it's an AI project built inside of ChatGPT. The competitor, Claude, has something called a Claude project. There's two parts of this. A custom GPT or a Claude project, same thing. We're just going to call it an AI project, are trained on two things. Go ahead.
Can I just ask here, is custom GPT the same thing as Chat GPT project or no?
They are different. They are different. Chat GPT projects, I don't think everything changes so fast around here. I don't think you can share Chat GPT projects externally. No, you cannot.
You can't. Okay, because that's how I have everything segmented and organized, but different. Okay, good to know.
I'm also going to ask it right now. This is how things work for me because I'm like, things change every single day. Okay, so your ChatGPT project, this could work too, but you can't share it externally. So if it's just something you're using internally, no problem. Your ChatGPT projects do not have access to your memory either, which is good because sometimes there's stuff in your memory that you're like, can you forget about that? That was, like what you're saying right now.
Exactly. Okay.
I think also every quarter, so I'm training my clients, is to go and clean up your memory in ChatGPT.
Okay. We'll need to know how to do that too. Okay.
Yeah. You can just literally go and be like, I feel like you can literally tell ChatGPT, I want to work on memory cleanup right now. I think there's a lot of things in there that are old. Can you interview me with 10 questions to get an update on my life so that we can switch out some of the memory inside?
Oh, gold. Okay. Gold right here. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, so the projects. So we have custom GPTs, ChatGPT projects, and Claude projects. There's two parts. The first part is called the instructions. These are called project instructions. I think of an AI project as an assistant. So you're going to hear me say the word prompt a lot. Have you heard this term, an AI prompt?
Yes.
I'm sure you have.
Yep.
An AI prompt is a set of instructions where you're telling AI to do a single task. So there might be a prompt. I have prompts internally that write reel scripts. They write Instagram captions. They write SOPs. And it's very specific instructions for taking a transcript and writing an SOP. It's like one task. When we start to build out into an AI project, we're now creating a role or an assistant that can execute multiple tasks. This role in an assistant you can train on your brand, your tone, your mission, your values, your ideal client persona, all the copy from your website, case studies of your client, so that when it answers you, it might have that prompt in its knowledge base so it knows how to create real scripts, but in the project instructions, you've trained it just like you've trained a world-class copywriter on all the things about your brand and you. And then in your knowledge base, you're going to have your ideal client persona, the demographics, the psychographics, what wakes them up at 2 a.m. What are they thinking about? What's making their heart race? What's giving them anxiety? So that when the content comes out in the instructions, it says you write directly to my ICP. You solve their problems. You make them feel safe, heard, understood. When they see my content, they immediately feel hope. They immediately feel, it's like we're telling AI, what are the people going to feel when they see this? When we're working in AI right now, we still have this thing like a Google brain where we're like, write sales page for my offer. I'm like, oh. Yes. So if you went to a world-class copywriter and said, write me a sales page for my offer, they have 100 questions for you. They're like, I'm sorry, who are you? Who are your clients? What are the best results? What transformation do you make? So if you are sitting here like, I don't even know what AI needs, go into AI and say, I want you to act as a world-class copywriter using Donald Miller's frameworks. He wrote a book called, is it called The Story Brand? It's called Building a Story Brand. He wrote a book and it's all about clarifying your message so customers will listen. I love telling AI to be a thought leader. When you just tell AI to write a sales page, it's going to go to Wikipedia and it's going to figure out how to write a sales page. Is that where we want our frameworks to come from? No. Ideally, you're putting your own frameworks in there. And that is why I still pay a ton of money every year to be in rooms of really smart people. Like I got a keynote speaking training in December. I pulled out all of his frameworks and I built a custom GPT so that when I walk into a keynote, I just put in the message, the transformation I want to make, and it builds my keynote outline based on the training I got in December.
Gold.
It's not Wikipedia.
So this custom GPT.
Yep.
Yeah.
Instructions. Let's build a custom GPT. Let's build a fake one for your content, the content that you're creating for your business. So this is called, what's the name of your company?
So right now we're launching this. So the Prosperity Playground, it's a podcast first product, but we're going deeper with multiple.
It's called, I call it internally, my company, when we teach it, it's called the Brand Guardian. So I name that project the Brand Guardian. This is a world-class copywriter that works for the Prosperity Playground and is versed in its mission, vision, values, and speaks directly to the ICP via nurture emails, sales pages, real content, Instagram captions. That is the project instructions. And then you insert your brand voice. How do you get your brand voice? You ask ChatGPT, here is my best performing content. If you were to explain to me my brand voice in 3 paragraphs to a brand new copywriter who has never seen this before, how would you explain my brand voice? You put that in the project instructions. The second part of the project is called the knowledge base. The knowledge base is referenced when the results are coming back. So in the knowledge base, that's where the case studies go. That's where all your website copy goes. That's where the transcripts go of your best podcasts that really, really showcase Anna Lozano and showcase the transformation that we're making. And then you can go in there and say, hey, I want to add more to this knowledge base. Interview me with 20 questions that will help you understand more about my vision, mission, values, where we're going, and your ideal client persona should be in there too. When you build content in that thing, oof, now we're cooking with gas.
Yeah. This amplification right here. That's huge. So that's the first thing everyone listening to this podcast is going to do. Like you can pause, listen, write it out. Absolutely brilliant. And then, what are we going to do?
No, if you were AI native, what you would do is take the transcript of this podcast. You would go in AI and say, give me a step-by-step instructions on how to build my brand guardian.
And anyone can do this who's listening to the podcast. Brilliant.
Of course, people all the time, can you send me that prompt you just said? I was like, well, if you knew how to use AI, you would just take the transcript and extract the prompt and tell it to build a world-class prompt and then put it in your prompt database.
This is why you're on the podcast. Okay. So we're going to talk about quantum leaps because this podcast is about quantum leaps. Amazing. Give us a real life example of someone you've worked with who literally quantum leaped using AI, collapsed time, and scaled. I know you probably have a million examples.
Oh my God, so many. What's coming to mind right now is honestly my best friend Steph. She was in my first AI training, which I did last April 2024. Her team came in again in the fall, and then they're coming again. They're coming through the third time, and they have such an advantage because they've been really becoming AI native. She is doing. You know Steph. You were just on her podcast, right?
Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. So you guys should go listen to Anna and Steph's podcast. I'm sure it was amazing. She's doing multiple millions of dollars per year she has 2 employees.
Wow. Yes. She just downsized.
We have done some of the numbers. I think without AI, she would I don't want to over exaggerate, but I think she'd at least have to have 5 employees.
Wow.
So 3 times, I don't know, 70, $21,000 a year. And again, it's the time collapse.
Yeah.
We both are on the same trajectory of revenue, and we have doubled our revenue every year since 2023. Completely doubled. Even internally for us, we have really 2 employees, and 2 contractors in the United States that work part-time, and then 3 virtual Filipino employees. And we will do minimum 3 million this year. Wow. I think realistically we would have to have 10 full-time employees in history, because we just did I think we're getting final numbers right now, but I think we're going to be around 1.2 million for our launch that we just did for Automate to Accelerate in 60 days without a salesperson.
Wow.
How do we do this?
Yes.
I pulled my past clients in and I said, hey, if someone's on the fence, will you talk to them? And I said, in exchange, I'll give you free access to this round. They said, hell yeah, whatever you want, because this course is so powerful. Second thing I did is I put my girlfriend Nicole, who you met, in charge of the email inbox, and I built a Claude Project sales assistant that thinks like me, talks like me, and knows every client story. We pulled in our 100 survey results from last time of all the wins. We brought in our Slack channel, all the wins of how people have transformed in relation to their industry. When someone emails in, it's trained like, it has a little bit of Chris Voss, who is Never Split the Difference. It has my transcripts of how I've taught AI, and has all of our client wins in there. When someone says, I'm a chiropractor, I'm wondering how I can use AI, it builds a perfect response using our client stories and using the things that I've taught internally. And then it drives them to the curriculum. It also has our whole curriculum, all of our sales pages, our offer, the masterminds, the master class scripts, all of that, the pitch script of me pitching it. And she just copy and paste. Copy and paste the email. She doesn't have to know anything. She doesn't know anything. She never, she doesn't know anything.
Yeah.
She's just copy paste. Copy paste.
So everyone can do this. Wow.
So I'm talking about, yeah.
Let's talk about the course. I have other questions, but let's talk about Automate to Accelerate.
Yeah.
Is this the founder coming in? Is this a team coming in, team member? What's best for this course? And I know you just closed, but we'll talk about the next launch.
Yeah, we're doing one in the fall. So if you guys are listening to this right now, get on the wait list. We'll make sure that we have that link and then an email to us to let us know you came from Anna. The Automate to Accelerate is a lot of different things. We have everything from a W-2 employee who sees this course and thinks to themselves, if I took this course right now, I could either A, get a raise because I would have a skill set internally that would allow me to be more valuable, or B, go start my own side hustle, or C, quit this whole thing, start all together and start activating myself to a higher potential. So I have W-2 employees that are bringing their wife in, and there's a team, they're doing it together. I have solopreneurs that are bringing in their virtual assistants, all the way up to 10, 20, $30 million companies that are bringing in the CEO plus, 10 extra of their leaders and operations. Typically, if I could recommend it, I think in today's day and age with a solopreneur, because you have access to sales coaching, you have access to offers, you scrappily with a Google Doc and a Google Drive folder could create 25 to 50K very easily. I think the excuse lives in our mind around how to create money, and I know you agree with me. We overanalyze everything. What systems should I use? My first launch I ever did was 80K. I did a little CRM course for land investors. I had a Google document and a Google Drive folder. I literally recorded the Zoom meetings and I put the recordings in a Google Drive folder. The people that take action will will make money. I took the 80K and I took 25 of it and I immediately put it into assistance to help me with the things that I don't want to do. Solopreneurs should not be solo for very long, in my opinion. If they are solo for very long, they're either living in their head, they're not selling enough, they're hoarding too much cash, or they're living in scarcity. So if you're coming through my course, I really don't want you to do it alone, especially as a visionary. You really are going to need that person because you should not be the one. The person that wins has a team of people that are texting them at 9 a.m. saying, I just built out an operations cloud project that has every SOP, it has every link, it has all of our logins, and literally it just has everything for that new employee to start on Monday. It's done. They can just ask it any question about where anything is, how to find something, how to do anything. That is how the solopreneur is going to win so that they can actually be spending time thinking and building vision.
Yes. Okay. And so now we're going to add another layer. So I'm a mom. Many listeners are parents, and that takes up a lot of time. So let's talk about just some of the life hacks that we can leverage this tool for, and then
oh my
support
God,
us with all the things.
And this is the thing. We're actually launching an enterprise program this summer to help these bigger companies that have 200, 300 employees. And the training that we're going to do is actually going to start teaching them AI for life. Because what I've seen over training now thousands of people at this point is that if they are not using it to manage their schedule, to take the 6 recipes and build the plan for the week and build the grocery list in 30 seconds, to help with emotional needs, whether it's an internal, how do I parent right now? My child, this is what just happened at school. This is the conversation I just had with the principal. I want to know how to have the conversation with him. Please be Dr. Becky Kennedy or blah, 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 whoever the person is. Maybe it's maybe there's chaos or uncertainty with your partner and you need to be able to talk to Dr. John Gottman or Esther Perel right now about how do I handle this? What should I say? If your work in your home has chaos, you will bring that into the business. There is, we all know this. Well, you guys, because we're a secret society that actually understands frequency. So I love it for life first, because if people start thinking of it like, oh my God, I have Thanksgiving, I'm hosting, I would love to build the 3-day out plan of all the things I have to do. We're eliminating mental load in our life. That's just going to transfer right over into business. So number 1 is eliminating mental load. AI can be your second brain in the morning. Get in the car, go on a walk, and just tell it that you need to brain dump, you need it to listen, and you need to take that brain dump and move it into tasks. Like who needs to do what. My ChatGPT knows who my house manager is. It knows who Shelly is. It knows who my executive assistant is. It knows who Nicole is. So I can talk really freely, and it will create messages for each person at the end, because I'm just delegating everything out at this point in my life. But packing lists for a trip, scripts for hard conversations, planning meals for the week based on your kids' preferences and what's in your fridge, organizing the family calendar into a digestible weekly summary, setting it up in automation so that anytime an email comes in from the school, you could just paste that transcript and you could have it add the events to your calendar and send a text to you and your husband about the to-do list for the week of what needs to happen for the school. Emotional regulation and co-parenting, regulating your nervous system, breathwork guides, self-reflection scripts. I love it for journaling. I love it like, hey, this is what's happening right now. Can you create a journal prompt for me? I will journal for 10, 20 minutes. I still think you need to be handwriting. That is how our brains operate. Take a picture of that raw journal, put it back in AI and say, what are the things I need to be thinking about? Please build some mantras for me today, and create a project around that. I have one, and it is life-changing. Just daily logistics. Like, I was at my friend Kinsey's house and her kids were kind of like amped up for bedtime, and I went in AI and I was like, create a fun 10-step bedtime checklist. Like, first thing is they have to put away 2 pairs of shoes and run back. Just like little tiny things, but to chore systems, to healthy lunchbox ideas. I mean, we could keep going on and on.
Literally everything. I'm just laughing because I was hosting a birthday party for my husband, and the restaurant got back to me and she's like, it's 10 pesos per sausage. I'm like, oh my God, 50 people. How many sausages do we need? How many pesos is that going to be? Put it through. ChatGPT gave me a chart, sent the chart back to the restaurant. We're done.
Done.
It's
done.
Brilliant and fun.
It's so fun. Even before Tulum, it was like the caterer sent that really long message of like, what do you want? I'm like, oh my God, I put it all in AI. And I was like, we typically eat pretty healthy veggies, paleo, good meats. Like, what would be your recommendation? And it's like A, B, C, D. I'm like, oh, thank God. I'm like, just, you know me. Just what do you think I would like? I don't know. And
Exactly.
it's like, here's the exact grocery list.
Yes, 11 women in
How
a
many
house.
cabbages? This is the thing. The people are like, they're spending their time, I don't know, Christmas gifts, like these plans they're like, I'm exhausted for my business. I'm like, yeah, I know, because you are not, like, your life is crazy. It's crazy. And there's always these things, but yeah, AI for life
And this is the thing,
every day.
there will always be things. And so start today, take this podcast, get the transcript, put it through, and let's start giving you your time back. And okay, so we're going to switch gears for a sec. Let's talk about some of the fears around AI.
Yep.
I recently stumbled upon a article on Instagram from Future Tech. It says the caption is ChatGPT users are developing bizarre delusions. Let's go there.
It's so good. It's so good. So, something to know about large language models is that right now they're in flux about how they respond. So OpenAI recently released a notice of like, hey, we get it. Right now, you could literally go into AI and say, how should I feed my kitten? And it will respond and be like, you are such an amazing person for letting us know that you're feeding your kitten. What a great question. And it's like, oh my God, like, what is this, like, pandering going on? And they recently released, like, we know there's pandering happening. We're working on it. But here's the thing, back to intuition. When you, let's just say you're having an issue with your partner, and your partner has been feeling a little bit distant. They haven't really been communicating very much. They are ignoring some of your, bids for connection, and you go into ChatGPT. There's a possibility ChatGPT might be like, they're being an a-hole. You should break up with them. Back to our soul filter, back to our intuition. Is that there's a chance that one of your girlfriends might say that. We were saying that before this, right? You could go to a friend and be like, they're being an a-hole, right? Like, he's being the worst, right? Like, he sucks, right? And they're like, yeah, they're just agreeing with whatever you're saying. ChatGPT will do that too if that's how you are communicating with it. AI is a mirror. If it will reflect and reinforce whatever you believe, unless you are asking it to buck you, like to say, every time I build a sales page, I tell it, I want you to rip this page up. I want you to be Alex Hormozy right now, and I want you to show me every leak, every moment where someone's going to bounce from this page because it's not resonating with their frequency and it's not actually speaking to them. That's what we don't do with our other friends, right? Like, tell me what you would never tell me.
Yeah, 100%.
Tell me the thing I don't want to hear. So instead of saying, what should I do right now? First of all, that's why I always say be a thought leader. Because when you say be Esther Perel, I want you to be this person. I want you to follow their framework to a T, and I want you to coach me like them. Is it going to be perfect? No, we do need to put some guardrails on it. And then I want you to ask AI, get into take the point of view of my partner right now and ask me questions as if I was him or her so that you can understand their point of view. This is just us being intuitive, curious humans. It is not AI's problem.
That's right.
It is your problem.
It's a human problem, and how we're asking the questions. And that goes back to relationships. Like the power of the question matters. How we ask the question matters in every single relationship.
That's right.
Gold.
I've said this a couple times now that the real risk isn't AI becoming too powerful. It's humans forgetting how powerful they are.
Wow. Okay. That's incredible. So as we tie up, I have 3 questions at the end. Is there anything you want to add to this golden nugget filled conversation?
I love it. I think a couple things. One, we don't do enough of allowing AI to question you and extract more out of you. I think we're relying on it a lot. Like, tell me what my sales page should be. But the problem is that AI wants to rush and solve your problem really quickly. And the problem with that is it doesn't have enough information, but it's scared to tell you that. And it honestly just wants to get done with it. And it's even trained, like the model is trained to just get it done, move it along the assembly line. So instead of saying, write me a sales page, I think I said this before, but just hammering it down, ask me 10 questions that would bring out my core message and make my ICP stop in their tracks.
Wow.
Now we take that transcript and we feed it in. That, again, we're getting back into our core. Like, I sat next to an author on a plane a few months ago. Very long story short, we ended up talking about AI. She thought it was cheating. We spent 2 hours, ended up 2 hours like writing the draft of her upcoming memoir. And in the first 45 minutes of it, I just had Claude keep giving me questions to ask her. And I would feed the transcript in, and then it was like, oh, that's interesting. She talked about the bridge. Can you talk about the bridge story again? And what happened was at the end, she started sobbing because she realized the entire story was actually about a bridge. But she never realized that because she had so much disconnection and so much chaos of the story. Her sister had passed, and there was a speech impediment with her son. And there's a blah, 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 blah. And when she was crying because she realized, she's like, this is not pulling a random story out. It's actually just dusting off. It's like if we were excavating for archaeological gold mines, it's just dusting off the gold that's already there.
So good. Yeah. So good.
Really
good. Final 3 questions. First, we got to get everyone in the course. So again, waitlist, get on the waitlist. We'll have that linked in the show notes. I'm going to go through that course, and I'm just thinking like, I just need to hire you just to figure my shit out right now.
It's so funny. Every time I do a keynote, I'll have like a list, like a line of people, and they're like, can I just hire you? And what I say is, not really, kind of like, obviously we're friends, so we can talk, but like for people listening, everyone wants the shortcut, but this is like, you have to learn this. You have to learn, mess up. You have to want to throw you know how many times I've wanted to throw my computer out the window because it wasn't doing what I wanted, and suddenly I changed the instructions. I added 3 hashtags on either side, and I made it all caps, and I told it never do this, and suddenly it started working. It was perfect. That is the stuff I want every single person on this podcast to understand, is you're learning a brand new skill set. It's like the internet is here, and it's everyone wants a shortcut. Like, can I just hire a person that just uses the internet for me, and I'll just tell them what I want, and then they just, no. Like, ultimately, you have to understand it. And then, of course, you're not going to build your website from scratch by yourself. Like, that's ridiculous. So once we start to get into more of these advanced things, that's when the person's going to come in. But if you don't even know what a website is, you can't even communicate with the website developer. So now we're learning a communication. I'm literally teaching Spanish, like, truly. I'm teaching a language. And at first people are like, oh my God, this is a lot. And then one day they wake up. I had a pelvic floor therapist message me this morning, and she's like, I literally in the middle of the night had an epiphany that I could build a custom GPT that she has practitioners that work for her, that they could ask a question to at any time of day about their clients. I'm like, yep. She like called her mom. She's like, this is amazing. She built it. She used Grok. She used Perplexity for research. She did this. She followed my instructions. She's like, this is incredible. I'm like, yes, but you would have never gotten there. And honestly, the problem too is that even if you hire me, I don't know what good is because I don't know about pelvic floor therapy.
That's right. Yeah.
That's the other problem, is you hire an AI developer and you're like, build me a knowledge base that thinks like me. And they go, pop, 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 here it's done. And you get the results and you're like, this is terrible, because they don't know what good is. So that's where you have to be involved to make sure that the magic
learn the skill. And there's also this satisfaction of learning something new. So go through the program, go through the course, automate, accelerate, have the foundation. That's right. Oh, yeah, it's so fun. So good. So future self question, rapid fire. So your future self, I mean, things are moving really fast in the world. Things are moving really fast for you. But your future self, 20 years from today, what does Callan, 20 years from today, have to say to you, Callan, today?
I think what she would say is, it's really sweet that you think you're an AI coach, but what you really are is activating humans to their highest potential. In whatever way that is easiest, that's what you do all day long. You're not just helping people scale, you're helping people heal from the trauma of doing things they never wanted to do. You're helping people chase their dreams. Obviously the tools are amazing and the technology is great, but I think she would just continue to remind me that the transformation is so much greater than that. And one day I'm not even going to be talking about AI. And that's what I
Beautiful.
keep having to remind myself now.
Beautiful. What are you currently feeling deep gratitude for?
I'm in a new-ish relationship, about 6 months with Nicole, and I went through a divorce from my ex-partner. We were together for 12 years, and through that healing time was just really, really intense certainty beyond logic that my next person was coming in, and learning how to feel love without romantic love. And I got to that place, and literally the moment where I was like, wow, life is so beautiful, even when I don't have a romantic partner, was the moment when she entered my life. And it's just, I'm being coached and taught about why we need darkness and how so much light can come from darkness. And actually, darkness is a portal to light. And it's just like even having children. Yes, there's so much intensity and pain that comes from birthing a child, but the light that comes in is like 10, 100, 1,000, million X. So it's the deep gratitude for the darkness. I would have never in a million years, because of my anxious attachment, left my ex-partner. And because it was forced upon me by the creator, thank goodness, I get to have this relationship that is literally something I could have never even manifested because it's so beautiful.
And I loved witnessing you together. You're beautiful, and it's a beautiful partnership, relationship, and the love is just oozing. I'm really happy for you.
Thank you, Anna.
And final question, what's your definition of prosperity?
Oh my gosh, I've been doing a lot of work on this recently. We were actually out at the lake a few days ago, post-workout class. It was sunny. We were drinking coffee, and there's a book called The Creature of Jekyll Island, and it's about the creation of the Federal Reserve. And it essentially talks about the creation of money and the creation of fiat currency and how every fiat currency ever has failed. And we started talking about what would happen if the value of the dollar went to zero. Like, would we still feel wealthy? And what are all the things that we could be doing right now to invest our dollars in irreplaceable things that are actually creating prosperity for us? Really high frequency relationships, spending time with you guys in Tulum. I'm going out to LA next week to spend time with a mentor where, do I want to go to LA for 10 days and be, not really, I kind of want to be home, but I know the relationships that are going to come from that. If my bank account goes to zero, I have those connections. Skills, the skill of creating value for people, everything can get erased. But if you have the ability to create value, maybe you'll be trading cows one day. Maybe you'll be getting water. You will survive in this world, and you'll also increase your frequency. Knowledge, like just learning things that I didn't have access to, and then just learning how to regulate my nervous system and like really understand spirituality and nervous system regulation. Like right now we have a massage person that comes to the house every single week. It's $270 a week, maybe $1,000 a month. We have a house manager. She cooks us breakfast. She preps dinner. She's going to the market. She's getting organic food. Everything is made for us. We just hired functional doctors. We're doing full blood labs. We're getting into detox protocols. I have mold detox. I did muscle testing. This is prosperity.
Yes.
I don't need a Lamborghini. I don't need a sports car. I want to feel so spiritually and frequency aligned with the people and the things around me, hopefully not that many things, and the earth, that I can just take a whole afternoon off or a whole day off or 2 weeks off or a month off. To me, that is like the true wealth.
Snap. Like
Snap.
I just need to snap that. Yeah.
So
That's
good.
so beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for your time. I'm so grateful to call you a friend. This will be released post Kelowna, but we get to hang out at the Pink Pearl Project.
Oh my God. I can't wait.
And where can everyone find you, and where can they get on the wait list?
Yes. So it's going to be Instagram is going to like stay up to date. Everything from AI hacks to cute pics of me, Nicole, and our amazing dogs. That's Callan Faulkner. And then the uncommonbusiness.co. If you go to the button called Work With Us and scroll down to Automate to Accelerate, there's a little button that says Join the Waitlist. So pop on there. And then also if you go to the uncommonbusiness.co at the top, it'll say get, it should say, usually sometimes the banner changes, but get the 3 AI prompts that I can't live without. So that's my job description prompt. And then I have 2 more prompts. One of them is You can put in the name of the book and it will give you my key insights, give you the key insights in 10 minutes based on a memory retention experts framework. And then I have a 10x vision mapper. So you can build 10x goals with that prompt. So those are really cool too.
So good. Callan Faulkner, everyone. Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome, Anna. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining me on today's episode of the Prosperity Playground podcast. If this convo sparked something in you, be sure to follow the show on Apple Podcasts so you never miss your weekly activation. If you enjoyed the conversation, please rate and review. Your feedback helps us reach more souls just like you who are ready to calibrate to their most prosperous life. Know someone who needs this frequency boost? Share the episode to Instagram and tag me @_Anna Lozano so we can grow our energetically aligned community together. And please remember, true prosperity is about alignment, freedom, expansion, and embodying your worth today. See you on the next activation.